Thank you for inviting me. Well, I accepted the invitation because first I heard a lot about already I've never been to. Now, a joke. I heard a lot about fintechs, and the fintechs are almost absent in Poland because the established commercial banks have taken over the baton of financial innovations in Poland. When you think of Polish banks, you think they are almost as good as fintechs. So I felt a bit out of sync here. Well, most of the audience are in the age of my grandchildren rather than children. I feel a bit better having my colleague from the National Bank of Romania here, who is also younger than my children, but okay, I can refer to Mugur Isarescu, the legendary Mugur Isarescu, who is even older than me. Second, I feel out of sync here a little bit because I am probably the only person in this room who uses paper. If I were one of you, I would sport a screen on the tablet or a smartphone, or as my predecessors here on the stage, to speak out of off the cuff. So, but now, getting back to my keynote speech, I'm not going to discuss fintechs. I'm not going to discuss payment systems, modern payment systems. Although I happened to be in the European Parliament also, and was trying to regulate, or not to over-regulate, the payment system in Europe. By the way, I would like to say something about Europe. Many years ago, when Europe opened up to the region, the fear in the West was that these countries are too poor, too backward, to cope with the exigencies of the European Union. It turned out differently. We are probably better equipped. We have better policies than most West European countries, so-called core EU countries. What is the problem in this region, in Romania, but also in Poland, is that there is a growing skepticism about the European Union. Well, what changed? The global or geopolitical environment around European Union changed dramatically in the last few years. There are all those black swans, as we are now used to call them. The global financial crisis of 2008, COVID, the war in Ukraine, and Donald Trump, a global war. So all this changed the global environment of the European Union and made it much more difficult. Well, we Europeans, we have committed certain mistakes in the past, and these were the mistakes of naivete. We were naive, idealistic, and we missed the reality. What are those mistakes? Well, first, it was the approach to immigration. Sorry to say, we need immigrants. We are idealists and we would like to help those people. But as we recall the famous or maybe infamous Willkommenspolitik of Angela Merkel, well, it didn't work. It didn't work in countries like Croatia, like Hungary, but also in Romania, more so in West European countries. Something has to be done, not to abandon those people, but to become more realistic. Second thing, Green Deal. Fantastic thing. I'm all for Green Deal. But the world is not aligning with the European Union. And we are paying the cost and not reaping the benefits. There has to be some modification here. But most of all, Europe is now operating in a completely different global environment. We cannot count on NATO. I'm sorry to say, I'm not a politician anymore. By the way, in Poland, being classified as politician, it's almost an insult. But, well, being former politician or Gastarbeiter in politics makes me competent enough to comment on what is happening in the world. NATO is iffy. We cannot count on NATO. So we have to build up our own European security structure. And this is what we are doing. But security does not only mean that we should spend money on arms, that we should produce munitions, all kinds of those deadly toys. It's about coherence of the European Union and the strength of our alliance. And here, we, representatives of the western flank of European Union, can do a lot. One of the things that we owe to us, but also to the European Union, is to change our approach to the euro. Euro is not only about payment, about monetary policy. It's about security. Think of you in Romania, but also in Poland. Our public debt situation is worsening quite significantly. Also because of the arms expenditure, but also to rather let's say unreasonable fiscal policies in the past and in the present. Still, however, we are getting by somehow. The capital markets, as long as Romania, as Poland is growing, tolerate those high rate of growth of public expenditure. But it may change. It may change if the sentiment changes, and there are all kinds of black swans on the horizons. If the sentiment changes, our situation may change dramatically. The cost of servicing public debt may spike, may rise very much, both in Romania and in Poland, but also in Hungary. Why I'm mentioning these three countries? Because those three countries are non-euro member states. And being in the euro protects us from dramatic changes in the cost of servicing public debt. It's a matter of security. It's not the matter of convenience, comfort. It's the matter of security. As long as we are outside the euro, forget about being treated as equal partners in the payment community of the European Union. And also, don't be naive saying that we are safe enough with our current fiscal and fiscal policies. We should join the European, the Eurozone. All the fears that were expressed by my colleagues, academic economists in the past, proved to be wrong. Simply, look at Croatia, look at the Baltic states, look at Bulgaria. These are not affluent countries, and still they do well in the Eurozone. And the cost, not just of the servicing of foreign debt, of public debt, but the cost of development is much lower. So what we have to do is to support, we Central and Eastern Europeans, we should support European monetary union, we should support European Union, because this is where our good future lies. There is no way and no time and no space for us to doubt about the European Union. Think about it while discussing your payments problems in the coming 2 days. Thank you.